The diplomatic reception aboard the Xantharian flagship Harmonious Accord was proceeding exactly as planned until someone made the catastrophic mistake of challenging engineer Marcus Webb to try the local cuisine. The banquet hall gleamed with bioluminescent crystals, casting soft prismatic light across tables laden with delicacies from 40 different worlds. Diplomats, military officers, trade representatives, and cultural liaisons mingled in careful choreography, each species maintaining their comfort zones of temperature, atmosphere, and personal space. The humans, still relatively new to galactic society, had been making excellent impressions all evening with their adaptability and genuine curiosity. Marcus stood near the buffet table, examining a crystalline sculpture made entirely of frozen methane, when Ambassador HFY of the Xantharian Collective approached. The ambassador was a towering figure, easily 3 meters tall, with iridescent scales that shifted through the visible spectrum and several spectrums humans couldn't perceive without augmentation. Engineer Webb, HFY's voice resonated through his translator implant, warm with diplomatic friendliness. "I trust you are enjoying the reception." "Very much, Ambassador," Marcus replied, genuine enthusiasm in his voice. The cultural exchange presentations were fascinating. "I had no idea your people could navigate using quantum entanglement detection." "Ah, yes. A useful evolutionary adaptation." HFY's scales rippled with pleasure, the Xantharian equivalent of a smile. "Tell me, have you sampled any of our cuisine? I understand humans are remarkably adventurous eaters." Marcus glanced at the buffet spread, which featured dishes that ranged from the merely exotic to the genuinely alarming. "I've tried a few things. That phosphorescent gelatin was interesting. Tasted like sparkling water mixed with copper." "An excellent description." HFY's enthusiasm grew. "You know, there is one particular Xantharian delicacy that has become something of a legend among diplomatic circles. The Krozeth, what you might call the trial of fire. It is traditionally served only to warriors who have proven themselves in combat." Several nearby diplomats had begun drifting closer, sensing entertainment in the making. "What makes it so special?" Marcus asked, his engineer's curiosity piqued. A Velosian trade minister, a being that resembled an upright mantis with golden carapace, clicked his mandibles in what his translator rendered as nervous laughter. "Special? Ambassador HFY, you cannot be serious. The Krozeth contains concentrated capsaicin analogues that would kill most carbon-based species. The chemical compound triggers pain receptors at levels that cause immediate neural shock." "Precisely," HFY agreed. "Even among my own people, only 1 in 1,000 can consume it without medical intervention. It is meant as a demonstration of fortitude, not actual consumption." Marcus's expression shifted to one of interest. "Wait, capsaicin? Like, spicy food?" "If by spicy you mean capable of inducing cardiovascular failure, then yes," interjected Dr. Yolf, the Polarian medical officer assigned to the human delegation. His 3 eyes focused on Marcus with growing concern. "Engineer Webb, I must strongly advise against." "I'll try it," Marcus said simply. The nearby conversation stopped. Heads, sensor stalks, and optical organs swiveled toward the human engineer. "I beg your pardon." HFY's scales flickered through confusion spectrum. "You understand this is not a challenge, yes?" "I was merely explaining." "No, I get it. But humans actually eat spicy food recreationally. Like, really spicy food. We bred plants specifically to make them more painful to eat, then turned that into a competitive sport." Marcus shrugged. "I mean, I'm not saying I can definitely handle your warrior food, but I'm curious." Dr. Yolf pulled up his medical scanner. The compound analysis shows a Scoville equivalent of approximately 12 million units. For reference, human military-grade pepper spray rates at 5 million. This substance is literally used as a non-lethal weapon by Xantharian security forces. "So, spicier than a Carolina Reaper, but probably not as bad as Pepper X," Marcus mused. "Yeah, I'll try it." "This is madness," whispered a Throsian observer. Ambassador Krelwex's scales had shifted to concerned purple. "Engineer Webb, I cannot in good conscience." "Ambassador, with respect, you've seen the human cultural briefings, right? The ones about our food?" Marcus grinned. "We literally have a pepper that causes temporary blindness and we use it in hot sauce. Some humans eat it for fun." The word spread through the reception hall like wildfire. Within minutes, nearly 100 beings had gathered around the buffet table. Someone had retrieved a medical team. Another enterprising soul had started a betting pool. The Krozeth arrived on a specialized containment platter. It looked deceptively simple, a small, red-black fruit about the size of a cherry, sitting in a pool of oil that seemed to shimmer with its own internal heat. The containment field around it was rated for biohazardous materials. "Last chance to reconsider," Dr. Yolf said, his medical scanner already tracking Marcus's vitals. "Doc, I once ate a whole bag of ghost pepper chips on a dare during university. I cried for an hour, but I lived." Marcus reached toward the containment field. "Let's see what alien spicy tastes like." The field deactivated. Marcus picked up the fruit with his bare fingers, which caused several gasps from the assembled crowd, and popped it into his mouth. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Marcus chewed thoughtfully, his expression contemplative. The crowd held its collective breath. Then his eyes widened slightly. A bead of sweat formed on his forehead. His face flushed red. He swallowed, reached for the glass of water someone had thoughtfully provided, and took a long drink. The medical scanner in Dr. Yaltha's hands was screaming warnings. "His core temperature is rising. Neural pain receptors are firing. He's experiencing." "A little spicy," Marcus said, his voice slightly hoarse but steady. He wiped his eyes, which were definitely watering. "Yeah, okay, that's got a kick. Good flavor though. Sort of fruity, with a smoky finish, and then it feels like your mouth is having an existential crisis." The hall erupted in chaos. "Impossible," roared a Xantharian military officer. "I have seen trained warriors collapse from half that dose. His vitals show extreme stress, but they're stabilizing," Dr. Yalth reported, bewildered. "He should be unconscious. He should be convulsing. He should be really regretting this in about 6 hours," Marcus admitted, fanning his mouth. "But yeah, that's doable. I mean, it's definitely top 5 spiciest things I've ever eaten, but it's not, like, emergency room level." Ambassador Krelwex's scales had shifted through the entire visible spectrum and were starting to repeat. You actually consumed the Krozeth. And you are, fine. Well, fine, is relative. I'm definitely feeling it. But I've had worse at a Thai restaurant in Austin. Marcus grinned through his obvious discomfort. "You guys should see what we do with something called, the Last Dab. It's a hot sauce made with pepper X and it's basically liquid regret." "But why?" asked a bewildered Volosian. "Why would you subject yourselves to such pain voluntarily?" Marcus considered this. "Honestly? Because it's fun. And because after a while, the pain becomes part of the flavor experience. Plus, you get this endorphin rush that's kind of addictive. Humans have been spicing up our food for thousands of years. It started as a food preservation technique, then became cultural, then became competitive." He paused to wipe more sweat from his forehead. "Also, our planet tried to kill us in pretty much every way possible for millions of years. We evolved pain tolerance as a survival mechanism. Eating spicy food is like recreational danger. All the thrill, none of the actual mortality risk." "Fascinating," breathed Ambassador Krelwex. "And terrifying. You are telling me that humans developed the ability to ignore pain signals that would incapacitate most species, and then weaponize this trait against your own food supply?" "Pretty much, yeah." A new voice entered the conversation. Captain Jennifer Walsh, the senior human officer present, pushed through the crowd with an expression of resigned exasperation. Webb, please tell me you didn't just eat the thing that the briefing document specifically flagged as potentially fatal to humans. In my defense, Captain, it was only potentially fatal. Marcus's grin was slightly manic now, his pupils dilated from the endorphin rush. Also, it turns out it's not fatal at all. Just spicy. How spicy? Like, ghost pepper level? Maybe a touch beyond that. Honestly, once you get past about 1 million Scoville units, it all kind of blurs together into, my mouth is making poor life choices. Captain Walsh pinched the bridge of her nose. You're going to be famous for this. You know that, right? The human who ate the warrior food and called it, a little spicy. She was right. Within 24 hours, the incident had spread across the entire diplomatic network. Within a week, xenoanthropologists were writing papers about human capsaicin tolerance and evolutionary pain management. Within a month, eat it like a human had become galactic slang for attempting something incredibly dangerous with casual confidence. The Xantharian Collective issued a formal commendation to engineer Marcus Webb for unprecedented demonstration of cross-cultural courage and alarming disregard for personal safety. They also quietly reformulated their security forces' non-lethal weapons, since something humans considered, a little spicy, wasn't exactly an effective deterrent. Marcus, for his part, became something of a celebrity. He received 12 different offers to sample exotic and dangerous cuisines from across the galaxy. He accepted 3 of them. When asked by a journalist why he kept agreeing to eat things that could theoretically kill him, Marcus just shrugged. Because someone has to establish the baseline for what humans can tolerate. Plus, honestly, after you've had proper Nashville hot chicken, alien warrior food doesn't seem that intimidating. Humanity had officially established their reputation, the species that looked at the galaxy's most dangerous delicacies and responded with, pass the hot sauce.